Rivian R3 crossover. The automotive world has been witnessing a massive transformation over the past decade, and electric vehicles are now at the forefront of this shift. Among the companies leading this revolution, Rivian has carved out a unique space for itself. It is a brand that is not just chasing numbers or making quick entries into the EV scene but is instead focused on building vehicles with character, capability, and a vision for the future. The Rivian R3 crossover is one of the most talked about upcoming models from this American EV manufacturer, and it is exciting the market in ways that only Rivian can. When we think about Rivian, the first images that come to mind are of rugged adventure-ready vehicles like the R1T pickup and the R1S SUV, both of which have already established a loyal following among enthusiasts and environmentalists alike. But with the Rivian R3, the company is shifting gears slightly, stepping into a segment that is not just about rugged off-road capability but also about practicality, urban usability, and affordability, while still maintaining that sense of adventure and innovation Rivian is known for. The Rivian R3 is set to be a compact crossover, designed to appeal to a wider audience, especially those who want the Rivian DNA but in a more accessible and versatile package. When Rivian first unveiled the R2, it was seen as their move into the mid-sized SUV market, directly targeting vehicles like the Tesla Model Y and the Ford Mustang Mach-E. The R2 generated huge excitement because it promised Rivian's adventurous spirit at a more affordable price point compared to the premium R1 models. Now, with the R3, Rivian is taking things even further, bringing that same energy into an even smaller and more affordable package. This makes the R3 particularly significant because compact crossovers are among the most popular vehicle types globally. Families, young professionals, and even city dwellers love compact SUVs because they offer a blend of practicality, efficiency, and style. Rivian entering this segment with the R3 means they are directly targeting mainstream buyers who may have previously thought Rivian was out of their budget or not aligned with their everyday needs. The R3 is not just important from a market perspective, but it is also crucial for Rivian's growth strategy. Building large, expensive electric trucks and SUVs helped Rivian establish credibility and attract enthusiasts who wanted something different from Tesla or legacy automakers. But as the company looks towards scaling production and capturing more of the EV market share, it needs models like the R3. It's a car that could bring Rivian into the driveways of millions of customers worldwide. Now, in terms of design, Rivian has always had a distinct language. Their vehicles stand out without being flashy. They are futuristic yet functional, bold yet minimalistic. The R3 continues this tradition but does so in a more compact form. Images and concepts that Rivian has revealed show a vehicle that is immediately recognizable as a Rivian thanks to its iconic front light bar and oval-shaped headlights, but with slightly softer and more approachable proportions compared to the larger R1 series. This makes sense because a compact crossover should feel friendly, approachable, and urban-friendly, while still being versatile enough for weekend adventures. One of Rivian's key strengths has always been its ability to integrate functionality with lifestyle branding. The R3 is expected to carry clever design elements like large storage spaces, a spacious interior despite its smaller footprint, and features that make life easier whether you're commuting to work or heading out on a road trip. Rivian's vehicles have consistently impressed with their attention to detail, things like gear tunnels, hidden storage compartments, and robust roof racks that allow users to carry bikes, kayaks, or camping gear. While the R3 might not have the massive gear tunnel of the R1T, it is expected to carry over some of these lifestyle-oriented features to appeal to its audience. Inside the cabin, Rivian is likely to continue its philosophy of creating a digital-first experience but without overwhelming the driver. The R1 models feature large screens, premium materials, and a clean, minimalist aesthetic. The R3, being more affordable, will likely use more cost-efficient materials but still maintain that Rivian feel: durable, functional, and stylish. Expect to see sustainable materials, recycled fabrics, and natural finishes that align with Rivian's environmental ethos. The interior design will probably focus on maximizing space and usability, ensuring that even though it's compact, the R3 feels roomy and comfortable for passengers. Now let's talk about performance, because Rivian has always emphasized capability. Even though the R3 will be smaller and more affordable, Rivian is unlikely to compromise on performance. We can expect multiple variants, including single motor, dual motor, and possibly even a tri-motor option for those who crave high performance. Rivian has hinted at giving customers a wide range of choices when it comes to drivetrain and power, ensuring that the R3 can appeal to both budget-conscious buyers and enthusiasts. The dual-motor configuration, for instance, is likely to deliver excellent all-wheel drive performance, making the R3 capable of handling light off-road conditions and challenging weather situations. Battery size and range are going to be crucial for the R3's success. Rivian knows it has to compete directly with vehicles like the Tesla Model Y, Volkswagen ID.4, Hyundai Kona Electric, and Kia EV5, which all offer competitive ranges. Early indications suggest that the R3 could offer somewhere between 250 to 300 miles of range on a single charge, depending on the variant. This is a sweet spot for most compact crossover buyers who need enough range for daily commutes, weekend trips, and occasional longer drives without worrying about constant charging. Rivian also has its own adventure network of fast chargers, which, although still in its early stages, will provide R3 owners with reliable charging infrastructure tailored for road trips and adventure travel. Combine this with compatibility with wider charging networks, and the R3 should provide a stress-free EV ownership experience. In terms of driving dynamics, Rivian has shown that it knows how to tune electric vehicles to feel engaging. The R1T and R1S are heavy, yet they manage to feel agile thanks to Rivian's suspension technology and precise handling. The R3, being smaller and lighter, is expected to feel even more nimble, making it perfect for city driving while still being enjoyable on winding roads. A lower center of gravity, thanks to the battery pack, will only enhance this driving experience. And if Rivian decides to offer a performance-oriented variant, the R3 could become one of the most fun-to-drive compact crossovers in the EV market. One thing Rivian has been praised for is its software. The user interface in Rivian vehicles is intuitive, stylish, and functional. With the R3, software will play an even bigger role, particularly in making the car feel modern and connected. Expect features like over-the-air updates, advanced driver assistance systems, customizable driving modes, and seamless smartphone integration. Rivian will likely ensure that the R3 keeps improving over time, much like Tesla does with its updates, so that customers always feel like their car is getting better with new features and enhancements. The R3 will also play a big role in Rivian's international expansion. So far, Rivian has mostly focused on the American market, but a compact crossover is exactly the kind of car that would do well in Europe and parts of Asia. European cities, for example, prefer smaller vehicles, and with the EU pushing hard toward electrification, the R3 could find a strong customer base there. Similarly, markets like China, where compact EVs are growing rapidly, could become important targets for Rivian. Launching a globally appealing model like the R3 gives Rivian the opportunity to move from being a niche American EV maker to a truly international brand. Another important factor to consider is pricing. Rivian has stated that the R2 will start around the $45,000 mark, which positions it as a competitor to the Tesla Model Y. The R3, being smaller, is expected to start at an even more affordable price, possibly around the $35,000 to $40,000 range. If Rivian can achieve this, the R3 could become a real game changer because it would undercut many rivals while still offering Rivian's unique appeal. Price-sensitive buyers who previously felt Rivian was too expensive could now find themselves drawn to the R3, which would dramatically increase the company's sales volume and presence in the market. Affordability does not just mean a lower sticker price, it also means lower running costs. As an EV, the R3 will already benefit from reduced maintenance compared to gas-powered vehicles, and charging costs are typically lower than fuel costs. Rivian is likely to emphasize this in its marketing, showing how the R3 is not just an adventurous and stylish vehicle but also a smart financial choice in the long run. Now, let's think about Rivian's brand identity and how the R3 fits into it. Rivian has built itself around the concept of, "Keep the world adventurous forever." This isn't just a tagline, it reflects in everything they do, from their vehicle designs to their sustainability initiatives. The R3, despite being a smaller crossover, will embody this same spirit. It will be marketed not just as a means of transport but as a lifestyle enabler. Whether you want to take it camping, hiking, surfing, or simply use it as your daily commuter, the R3 will promise to be that companion that's always ready for adventure. The R3 also has the potential to attract a younger demographic. Millennials and Gen Z buyers are increasingly conscious about climate change, sustainability, and technology. They want vehicles that reflect their values while still being stylish and fun. The R3, with its electric powertrain, sustainable design, and modern tech, checks all these boxes. It could easily become the go-to vehicle for younger buyers entering the EV market for the first time. Production of the R3 is expected to take place at Rivian's upcoming Georgia factory, which is a critical part of the company's long-term strategy. By building a new facility dedicated to the R2 and R3, Rivian is ensuring that it has the capacity to produce these vehicles at scale. Mass production is necessary to keep prices competitive and meet the demand that Rivian expects for these models. This factory will also play a key role in Rivian's supply chain efficiency, allowing it to streamline manufacturing and bring down costs over time. Of course, the success of the R3 will depend on more than just design and performance. Rivian will need to ensure it delivers a reliable, high-quality product, something that has challenged many new automakers. Tesla, for example, faced years of criticism over build quality, and Rivian will want to avoid falling into the same trap. Customers buying the R3 will expect not only an exciting product but also one that is dependable day in and day out. Rivian's attention to detail and quality so far has been encouraging, and if they can maintain that with the R3, it will give them a strong advantage. Looking ahead, the R3 could become Rivian's best-selling model. Compact crossovers dominate sales charts in many countries, and by offering one that is electric, stylish, capable, and affordable, Rivian is ticking all the right boxes. The R3 could be the car that takes Rivian from being a niche EV maker with cult appeal to a household name that competes head-to-head with Tesla, Hyundai, Kia, and legacy automakers. It's not just about selling cars, it's about building an ecosystem. Rivian owners often talk about how owning one of their vehicles feels like joining a community. The R3 will expand that community to millions of new people, strengthening Rivian's brand in ways that go beyond just sales numbers. If we consider the bigger picture, the Rivian R3 represents the democratization of adventure-oriented electric vehicles. Until now, having an EV that could handle both city driving and weekend getaways often meant paying a premium. With the R3, Rivian is aiming to make that experience accessible to more people. It shows that the company understands the evolving needs of modern drivers, who want practicality and affordability but also crave uniqueness and excitement. And let's not forget the emotional aspect of cars. The R3 is likely to strike a chord with people not just because of what it offers on paper but because of how it makes them feel. Rivian's vehicles have always had a certain charm, a mix of futuristic design, outdoor adventure spirit, and cutting-edge technology that makes them stand out. The R3 will carry that same DNA, meaning owners won't just be buying a car, they'll be buying into a vision of the future. As the automotive industry continues its shift toward electrification, models like the Rivian R3 will play a pivotal role. They will introduce more people to EV ownership, accelerate the adoption of sustainable mobility, and push legacy automakers to innovate faster. Rivian's boldness in entering this competitive segment shows its confidence, and if the R3 delivers on its promises, it could easily become one of the most important electric vehicles of this decade.